we are now ready to actually put the Shibori tied pieces of linen into my indigo. So last night before I went to bed, I came in and I adjusted the pH of my vat, and linen wants a higher pH. So I've brought this pH up to a 10.1. I used lye. And so I'm definitely wearing gloves because this is super alkaline. So just for process, my pieces that are ready to dye here, I'm going to put them in the bucket. I'm going to lift them out of the bucket. I'm going to give them the squeeze, and then I'm going to put them in a resting station over here. So this is where I want them to get oxidized, but not dribble everywhere. So I'm going to lay them out in my stations here. I'm going to start with the one that's going to be the most delicate. The amount of indigo that's going to be available in my vat will drop. So I want to start with the one that I need to over dye the least. So I'm going to start with the one that's the most delicate. And I'm going to slowly lower this guy in, trying to let it bubble as little as possible. And then I'm going to wait for 5 minutes. Got my 2 little strings here. I'm going to slowly pull those up again. I'd want to be moving this as little as possible. This is the hardest part, getting it out of the wet. So I'm going to get a hand under, and as soon as I can, I'm going to get it over my other bucket and then into a spot where it can, I'm going to tip it up so that the indigo will naturally slide out of that while it oxidizes. You can see it turning from a sort of pea yellow to blue over time. And we're going to take the next one. This one we can move around much more easily. So it goes in. Again, we want to not be creating a lot of bubbles. And because there's a fair amount of space in this vat, we're going to also put the other guy in at the same time. And we got to wait another 5 minutes. So we've waited the 5 minutes. We're now ready to scoop this out. Again, I'm going to try and introduce this little, look how bright yellow that is. That is some bright yellow. It is a happy indigo vat. It stinks. Boo! It can go into my second little guy here. Here we go. My little chickpeas. Stinky. The more we can spread it out, the quicker it will oxidize. Greens, it's going to go into our oxidization pile. You can see this one is starting to become much bluer. So this is the one that I want the most amount of space for because I want to get the indigo in all of these cracks. You'll also notice I'm wearing one of my indigo dyed sweaters. This helps me not ruin clothing as I splash indigo on myself. So just a little help. So I'm going to get this in. Ooh, this is the one that will bubble the most because, of course, of all of the parts. So I want to do this slowly. And with this one, I'm going to spend some time trying to get it to fit and to move. I want to get lots of indigo in these open spaces. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Leave this for 5 minutes. Put them in that spot, and I'm going to keep it all sort of upright. I've got to give him some space, and I especially want a little oxidization to happen down in these valleys. So I'm going to open that up. We build up color so the indigo in its luteal form, which is when it's reduced here, doesn't stick to cloth. It only sticks to cloth once it's oxidized. So this one here that's got mostly blues on the tips would be almost ready to go. This one still needs a bunch of oxidization before it's worth putting back into the vat. And once it's oxidized and it goes back in, some of it will go green again, but it's the stuff that's already bound to the cloth will stay bound to the cloth. And we build up a darker and darker color as we do this. I'm going in one more time to build up a little bit of color. In there. This guy looks pretty blue, so he's going back in. Excellent. Another 5 minutes. See how that's already coming out a darker green, not that pea yellow? That's because some of the indigo is already bound to the cloth. So gonna get some good deep color. So let's flip her in. Woo. Coming along beautifully. This time I'm going to put it in with the clamps down. Maybe having the clamps at the bottom's a problem, because it wants to float. All right, so take it out and turn it back over. That's better. Okay, waity. This guy's gonna come out. Again, it's gonna sit in my little temporary holding spot. And now I'm going for what I'm going to call the long immersion. I've built up a fair amount of color on these already, which is great, but I'm now going to put them in for what I think of as the last round, which is going to be a full 20 minutes of being in the dye bath. So, in she goes. All right, long soak done, and we're ready to put it out for being finished. And this is where my difficulty with patience lies. I want to see it now, but I can't. I really am going to wait till it oxidizes and then sets up a little bit, and then I'll get to look at it. But for now, I'm very pleased with how this color is going to be. Pretty certain that it's everything I could want. And it's going to go sit here for 20 minutes. And 20 minutes have passed, and we can take this guy out. He's done his final dip. And again, let's spread it out a bit so it gets a chance to very much oxidize. That was sitting in water. So let's go one more time. So I'm ready to consider this one done. I'd like to make space, so I'm actually going to do the reveal. And I'm going to let this fully oxidize, spread over my thing, my dive thing, before I rinse it. We can see that this has no more green left in it. So all of this has oxidized. So I'm now going to come on over here. I'm going to take a big bucket of water and I want to neutralize the alkalinity of those fibers. So I'm just going to take white vinegar. Here in Italy, they don't have plain white vinegar, so I'm using fancy white wine vinegar, but it's the cheapest thing they have. And because it's a fairly large piece of fabric and it's linen, I'm going to put a couple of nice big glugs in there, like half the bottle. And that should last me for at least this piece and probably a second piece. And this is, our pH is way up here at 10. I want to bring the pH to a neutral state. So I'm going to put the cloth in, stop the indigo from eating, or rather the alkalinity from eating the cloth. So I'm going to let it sit in here for the length of time that it's going to take for this to do its final immersion, so 20 minutes. Okay, so I'm just going to check how my water is doing here. This is my rinse water. I still have a pH that's 6.5, which means it's still below my normal 7. That tells me that I'm good to put another cloth in here. So I can take this one out and actually now rinse it in water and hang it to dry for being able to be used. Then I'm going to come on over here and I'm going to see if I can find the end. Oh, yes. Okay, because this is the fun part. So I'm going to lift this up over here and we're going to be like, wee, wee. And this is the advantage of not tying any knots. You can see that I've managed without any problem to keep it all together. And now with a single continuous pull, I can take this all. Okay, here we go. Look at that. Ta-da! To let it fully oxidize. And now I can get this guy out and set it down there. Let's try one or two of these. Now I think this is going to be great. We can pause and we'll come back and we'll show you the reveal when I've untied all of these little guys. All right, there's the last one. Okay. So here comes the rain of chickpeas. Look at them stuck on the back of. So you can see that I doubled this fabric up. So half the fabric will have proper dots in the center and the other half is less. They're just more polka dots. Look at that. So this is now, this one here has fully oxidized. So it can be lifted and put into our vinegar bath over here so that it can neutralize. And while it neutralizes, we're going to let this one oxidize. Now you might ask me why I'm not worried about there being blue in this water. once indigo is blue, it will not attach itself to the cloth anymore. This will remain a nice clean white even though this water is starting to get bluey. Okay, so this has been now soaking in my vinegar water and it can come out. And it's going to get a final rinse in just neutral water. And now I'm going to check the pH of this. Now the pH there is 7.6. Just a second. 7.4, which tells me it's still a little bit alkaline. So for me, this vinegar bath no longer works. So I'm going to empty it out, put some fresh water now that I can, and fresh vinegar so that the next one I put in has a good amount of acid in it to balance the alkaline. So in goes the other chunk of I'll just leave a little bit in case. In goes the other chunk of vinegar. So this that has been sitting, getting all blue, can now go in. It's nicely moved around in the vinegar water, so all of it has a chance to neutralize. Look how nice and clean those prints are. You can see that there's some green in there, so that there'll be a little bit of blue, but nice and clean line between the strong blue and the... Look at that. Here's the big reveal, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Again, I'm going to put it on my rack to fully oxygenate, and then I'm finally going to clean up. Very last thing I'm going to do for today is I'm going to rinse my tools in water in the same vinegar bath that I rinsed the other stuff, so that it too has a chance to neutralize. And then we're going to wait. All of the cloth will dry between now and the next couple of days, and then I get to make something with it. Look. Here are the results of my various indigo prints. So we have this nice soft diamonds. We have the twisty bits, and then our little chickpeas. Here we have the chickpea. And so here's an example. This sat on the sediment of the bottom of the pot. So it touched indigo for longer and in more intense, leaving a stain there. If I was worried about that, I would have needed to keep the cloth suspended above, but I'm pretty happy. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions like Carolina just had about those dots, ask. I'd be more than happy to answer.